Welcome to the Unscripted Journey podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Schoen. Around here, we believe in living life on purpose, not by permission. Each week, we'll talk real growth, fresh starts, and bold steps to create a life that's true to you. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take this journey together. Welcome back to the Unscripted Journey, friends. I'm so happy, like always, to have you with me as we go through this podcast about how to live your life unscripted. And if you are new to this podcast, what is the Unscripted Journey? The Unscripted Journey is something that I've been going through in the last couple of years. It's been a season of change and transformation. The unscripted life is about living life on your terms, no longer living under the constraints that you have placed on yourself that have kept you in the box. Not only that, but even what other people have said or told you to do, that is no longer the script that we're living. We have flipped it, and now we're living life on our own terms. We're no longer asking for permission to do what we were made to do. So I'm going to get right into it today. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about something that I have been hinting at. We've been talking about it, very touching about it, or I should say touching on it in different episodes, and that is mindset. Let me tell you, we are talking about shifting our mindset and how it aligns with our unscripted life. I think it's a really important part of the unscripted life. Honestly, everything starts in your head, right? Like it starts there, and your head and your heart have to connect somehow. And if you can change the way you think, and if you can flip the script so that you start thinking good thoughts, positive thoughts, thoughts of hope, thoughts of fulfillment, thoughts of changing your life around, I'm going to tell you, you are going to feel different. So a few years ago, I was really stuck in a mind loop, I guess, a mental loop. I don't know what you want to call it. I wanted to start a podcast. I've talked about this several times on other episodes. My dad passed away, and I was just really kind of navigating where I was at. And in my heart, I felt like I wanted to encourage others. I wanted to be there for people to help them through the times in their lives. Let me tell you, I've always felt like I was created for something more. And my friend, so are you. And that mental loop had me going back and forth, judging myself. I didn't feel good enough. I bought into the lie. I bought into the lie that I wasn't good enough. I bought into the lie that if I started this podcast, that no one was going to listen. I felt unworthy and unqualified. And when you start comparing yourself to other people, we've talked about this in past episodes, social media is huge on making us feel like crap, to be honest. We feel like our life doesn't measure to other people's. But what that did, the consequence of feeling sorry for myself and feeling unworthy and feeling like I wasn't good enough, that consequence was delaying my passion to encourage others to start a podcast, to post on social. And think about it. How many of us are living by stories that were never true to begin with? We have bought into the lies. We have bought into the lies that people have spoken over our lives. And when you believe a lie, you, my friend, empower the liar. Whether that's a liar inside of you, whether it's the enemy of our souls that comes to steal, kill, and destroy, who wants to whisper in our ear and tell us that we're not good enough. Don't empower him. Don't empower that side of yourself either. You are worthy, and you are more than that. So what exactly is a mind shift? A mindset shift. All right. What is that really? It's not just kind of thinking happy thoughts. That doesn't necessarily change your frame of mind. But it's a framework reboot. You're reprogramming the way you think. It's just doing kind of just a full circle turnaround on how you think about things. Beliefs become automatic scripts in our lives, and they dictate our behavior. My friends, What you think and what you believe will change the way you behave and the way you act. What we believe shapes our life. It changes the way we live our life. It changes our attitude. And what we believe is what we accomplish or don't accomplish, friends. A mindset shift happens over time, not overnight, and usually starts with awareness. If you are aware that, let's just be honest, you're a negative Nelly and it's time to change and it's time to shift the way you think, that's where you're starting. That's where your shift has just begun. And let me say, when I started to change my mindset, it was because daily I started to consume and meditate on things that were positive. When I say daily, and I think I've talked about this, it was from day to evening. I started to listening to positive things. I spoke positive affirmations over my own life because that began to change something within the inside of me. And I started to consume and meditate on things that were opposite of what I thought about myself. Remember, I talked about I didn't feel unworthy. I felt unqualified. Actually, I bought and read a book by Jamie Kern Lima called Worthy. That is an amazing book. If you want to start changing the way you feel about yourself, I encourage you to go get it. It's a great, great read. But I knew that I was going to change my future the minute I started to think differently. And it began to affect me, not only emotionally, but it did spiritually and physically. Like spiritually, I was more aware. I've talked about this. I am a practicing Christian. I believe in God. I believe in his power. I believe that he has made me for something greater, right? So that began, even though I've said this in my past for myself, I've said it to myself, oh, I'm great, I'm worthy. But sometimes we say it, but we don't believe it. But when I started to change my mindset, oh, let me tell you, friends, it began to do something in me spiritually. So I want you to think of one thought that plays on repeat in your mind. Does that thought build you up or hold you back? What is that one thing that is always on repeat in your head? Is it, I'm not good enough? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. You're always comparing yourself to someone else. Yeah, I'm not good enough. And that's always on repeat. It's like Groundhog Day in your head every single day, every moment when you think about who you are. Does it build you up or hold you back? Like, it's really important for us to have awareness of the thoughts that we're having. You know, beliefs form in different stages of our life. It could be from childhood, from experiences that we've had, or repeated messages by someone to you or to yourself. If you grew up in a very broken family and your parents were constantly telling you, you're no good, you're useless to me, you're a mistake. Those things really shape who we are as an adult. My goodness, and if we don't deal with those things, we will never be able to break from the cycle that is holding us back, that is holding our mindset back. Friends, I want you to be whole and healthy. If that is you, if you have had trauma in your life, I encourage you to go get therapy, talking to someone about it and working your way through your feelings and your hurt and your brokenness is very important. And might I add, bring it to God, because God is the healer and he can heal all things within you. All right? I strongly, strongly believe that. You know, our belief systems are shaped with how we think. Are we worthy of love? Are we worthy of success and peace and freedom and health? You know, that our belief systems are built on those things. And it's time that we flip it and we change what we have been believing about ourselves and what even we believe about others, right? I do believe there's good in everyone. And I think that we were put on this planet to help other people. And if you are going through a hard time and you get through it, I believe that is a testimony for you to help others who are going through something similar. So don't despise those things that you've gone through. We each have gone through something that is a lesson for us to share with others in the same boat as us. What happens is that if we don't rise beyond the story we believe about ourselves because of the things that shape that belief in the first place, we are not going to be able to move on. We need to rise beyond that script, beyond that story that we believed. Now, I truly believe that there is a victim mentality and that there is a vision mentality. And my hope is to inject into you the vision mentality. And I want you to reflect on this. Which one do you have? Do you have a victim mentality or do you have a vision mentality? It's important because one puts us in a cage and one can set you free. Come on. The victim mentality will put you in a cage. You are putting yourself in a cage when you constantly have a victim mentality. But having vision for yourself, for your future, for your loved ones, for your marriage, for your job, your career, that if you have a vision mentality, honey, you are being set free. That sets you free from the things that have held you back. A victim mentality is a woe is me. I call it the Eeyore mentality, okay? If you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, woe is me. He was always a negative Nelly, down on himself. Even the way he walked, his eyes were always droopy. He just was not a happy guy. But you're always like, life happens to me. I have no power. It's always someone else's fault. Honestly, I want to say that I used to have somewhat of a victim mentality. I would always tell people, no, you don't understand. I have a dark cloud over my head. It's always over me. Because if there was a chance of something happening, I was that 1%, right? I was that 10%. I was in that group where things happened to the people that were either going through surgery or going through something in life. I was that person. When the medication says, you have a chance of, dizziness or whatever, something stupid. Every medication nowadays gives you 100 side effects. That would be me. But I started to change that. I went from victim to vision. I had started to say that life happens through me. You see, instead of life happens to me, life happens through me. Instead of I have no power, you say I have a choice. I can direct the script. I create my future. Remember, I have talked about positive affirmations and how that helped me change the way I thought. So even right now, pause this podcast and write something positive about yourself. It's really important that we take action. My mentality changed when I began to realize that I wanted more. I wanted more. And the only person holding me back was me. It was no one else. It wasn't my 9 to 5. It wasn't everything else that was going on around me. I had to shift from being a victim to having vision for my life. The Bible says, my people perished because of lack of vision. Have vision for yourself. Don't perish in your own self-loathing, friends. It's really, really important that you begin to shift the way you think. Shifting your mindset will create a better future for yourself. So are you spending more time in survival? Are you kind of like always treading water right above, right above your neck, like your head is just barely making it out of the water? Or are you spending more time in strategy on how you are going to change your life? I began to change my life by having strategy. I began to change it. I began to write it. I began to discuss it with my husband. We talked about everything, all right? It's really important. So I want to take a quick journal prompt break. And I want you to take your journal and write this down. What is one belief I'm holding that no longer serves me? What is that one thing that you're holding on to that works against you? And as a follow-up, ask yourself, where did that belief even come from? Who handed it to you? Who gave it to you? Was it yourself? Was it the limitations you placed on yourself? Was it a family member? Was it a coworker? Was it a boss that didn't believe in you? Who was it? And what was it? My turning point was, I want to change my life. I want to live a better life with my husband. I want us to enjoy it. I want to leave a legacy behind for those who know me, for my children and my children's children. But I had to change what I was consuming visually and audibly. They're time wasters, man. Let me tell you, I've talked about this in other episodes. You're consuming Netflix for 5 or 6 hours, you're binge watching, or you're doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram for hours. Those are time wasters, my friend. And time is that one thing you can never, ever get back, no matter how you try. So, time wasters, what are you watching? What are you listening to? And I started to consume things that were positive for my life. And as I started to do that, what came out of me in self-talk and beliefs changed. Let me tell you, garbage in, garbage out, man. If you're consuming garbage all day long, honestly, go to your phone to see how much time you're spending on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Prime, on all these apps like Facebook. And you will be shocked probably at how much time you are spending on that stuff. And really, a lot of the times, there's not really anything really that great anyway. You're not really missing much. So I didn't just take action as I started to consume things that were different. The byproduct of that was that I believed something different. I started to believe that I could have a better life. I believed that I could do good. I believed that it was possible for me to have a podcast or create a journal or all the other dreams that I have in my heart that I have not yet shared with anyone. There's so many in there, friends. I've mentioned this before. The graveyard is one of the richest places on this earth. Why? Because people are dying with their dreams. Their dreams are dying with them. Don't be one of those statistics. Friend, you're allowed to change your mind about who you thought you had to be. It's okay. You're not stuck. You're just one belief away from creating and living the life you want. And this coming week, I want you to catch just one unhelpful thought and reframe it. I want you to change, I can't do that, to what if I could learn how? See how just that changes things? You're not saying you know how to do it, but you are strategizing on how you can learn. Write it on a sticky note or on your phone notes app, or put it on your dashboard on a note, on your mirror, on your wall, tape it. I don't care. Do what works for you. My thing is just do it. Just do it, my friends. You're just one belief away from creating and living the life you want. All right, this is it for now. I hope that I've been able to give you some pointers on how to start changing your mindset, how to start changing what you believe, how to go from victim to vision. It's really important that you start putting these things into practice. Thank you for tuning in. And I want you to share this episode with a friend who might need a mindset shift. I know we all have them. It's not just us, right? Who we hang around with is who we become. So I encourage you, if this has spoken to you, go ahead and share it. All right. Until next time, friends. Thanks so much for listening to the Unscripted Journey podcast. If today's episode lit a spark in you, keep that momentum going with the Unscripted Journey Reflection Journal. It's a guided space to help you tune in, take action, and start living life on your terms. It's available now on Amazon. Just click the link in the episode notes. And don't forget, I've got free resources waiting for you over at cynthiashow.com to support your growth between episodes. Until next time, live free, stay unscripted.